Alright, so let's talk about logistics from subcap to capital. Talk about shield. Here's a basilisk. This is a standard headquarters fitting with high-sec incursions in mind. High-sec incursions, headquarters with the two extenders. There's one energy transfer between them. You want logistics to 5. You want shield emissions to 5. That'll help with carrier. Both of them will. And you cap bounce. So you send cap to someone else, he sends it back to you, you're cap stable. Okay, so that's subcap. 2 invones and an EM for resist. Alright, so Chimera, spider tanking. We've got 5 capital transporters. This is basically one Bassi right there. So every Bassi I have is going to be just like this. Just one each. So 5 Bassis like a capital ship. 2 invones, EM for my resist, and the rest is cap. Easy story, rest is cap. Giant capacitor, that's how carriers are meant to be fitted anyways. Alright, so Thanatos. Let's see. That's a slightly different subject on that one. Let me show you shield. Okay, so shield's a little bit lower resist, a little bit lower EHP, but same principle, and fairly effective. 2 invones, an EM, rest cap, and really good with the CPRs here. Many more than the Chimera, and cap. Straightforward, pretty simple. Alright, so how about triage? Alright. Triage. Can't escape. Sitting duck. Full damage from the dreads that are primarying me. Really bad situation. So let's see. Leave off. Okay, that works. Now I can try to get out of there. I can have my resists and try to survive. But if I actually want to use a triage, no reps from anybody, no cap from anybody, I'm on my own. But ×4 on my remote reps and my local. But I don't activate this unless if there's a threat. So no need for local, no need for resist. Basically, my triage while I'm nice and safe. No enemy for 6 jumps, 10 jumps out from wherever I am, and I'm just repping a pos like crazy. ×4 makes 6, and basically this triage turns these 4 transporters into basically 16. Everything is designed for cap, so I've got the cap to actually fully power this. Alright, so there's triage for you. Other people might say, oh, suicided. Well, I'm not going to go into that. You're going to suicided, it's going to be a different fit altogether. And you have all the disadvantages that I mentioned. No DPS, your fighters, if they're out there, abandoned. It's a mess to do triage. I wouldn't. You can use it as a tactic, but I wouldn't. I guess if you had a Titan and you were the only thing that could save it, you might put on that triage and try to save it if you knew it could escape. Of course, if you don't have a clue that it can escape, then sacrificing your own ship seems kind of pointless anyways, but it's going to die anyways, so why sacrifice your ship if you could live a little longer and maybe do something else? Anyhow, that's the only reason I use triage, but you want that T2. It does have some nice bonuses over the T1, but you're going to need tactical logistics reconfiguration to 5. Plain and simple. So this reduces the amount of strontium that you need for each level, 50 less, I believe. Not really that useful of a skill, but you get that 5, and you can all of a sudden use the T2. Okay, so we talked about how you want shield emissions 5 and Logi 5 on the Bassi. Well, you have to have it to get your cap shield emissions. I say get it to 5, at least 4, and you can fit these guys pretty efficiently. Skills for all the cap is pretty much already set out. So yeah, this is a spider tank right here. You know you got to get these invones to T2. Make sure you have it. Shield comps are nice if these guys are off. If they're on, your shield comp skills won't affect the resist, but you know, if you are neutered completely and they have to turn off and you can't get cap from anywhere else, because even though you're not in triage, no one else can spare you cap for some reason, yeah, the shield comps will be useful, because the shield comps will increase the resist. These invuln fields actually do give a little bit of a passive resist bonus. You can see it right here. So alright, there's a little bit of a passive resist bonus right there. If you need to overload, you will get a substantial increase in your tank. So you might also want to have your thermodynamics up and you overload. Let's use that. How do you overload? So you right click here and all of a sudden your resist go pretty high, but you can't do that very long, so it has some use, but not forever. So don't expect to tank people like that all day. More of an emergency, but not quite the emergency that triage might be. Alright, so there's the Chimera shield tanked. I recommend this. It's pretty decent tank and resist. 662k effective shield hit points, and the rest don't matter, because if you bleed through, eventually your ship will die. And that'll be it for my guide on logistics through cap ships, through the carriers. I do want to add a warning that if you are dropped by even one Titan, his DD will insta-pop you. DD stands for the Doomsday Device. They may change it. CCP is considering changes to the Titan. Who knows if they'll change that. So if you're in low sec, you're in high sec, or not high sec, null, that's the null proper, sov null, then you may be hot dropped by a Titan. Just make sure there aren't any newts or reds in your system and you trust the blues. One last thing. Bonuses that Thanatos gives to the fighters. 5% bonus to fighters' damage. Makes it a pretty good candidate for ratting in Sov nullsec. So I've done it, never lost a carrier because you know, I watched local. Made sure I trusted everyone who was in it. And made sure I was aligned while I was in it. But let me go ahead and show you a good ratting fit. I hate when carriers die, so, and especially when you look at a dead carrier and you see atrocious fittings on it. So what do you need in a ratting carrier? You basically need a way to bring your friends in. Make sure you've got liquid ozone. You can power this thing. Make sure you have Sinusoid Field Theory trained up sufficiently that you can use this. And let's see, here's your damage. Right here, increase the number of drones that you can field or number of fighters you can put out. So here I can put out 14 with max carrier skill at level 5 and 4 of these things. So 1750 is pretty decent in firepower. The only thing you need when you're ratting is a little bit of a tank. This is way more than you would need, but why not? One specific for the rats, and some across the board resist. I've seen some fits that were just specific to the rat, and those things die really quick when you're caught off guard. And you're trying to bring your friendly fleet in. Hope you got this. And so you're trying to stab these guys off. You're holding someone down so your fighters can actually kill it instead of them just warping off, while you're lowering your DPS by killing these guys with that disruptor. Hopefully your friendly fleet is incoming real fast. This is letting your carrier hold out a little bit unless there are some titans dropped or supers. Yeah, that's a messy situation right there. So just be aware if there's some titans that come in. Yeah, your ship's gone. Talking about fitting any module is kind of a waste of breath. So we'll just not talk about titans. And just remember to keep yourself aligned to a POS. A nuke comes in where you see that he's a system out from intel, and you warp to your POS and do something else with another character or something that we don't have to talk about. Those insta-popping titans, and yeah, that's, I think, is a good fit. Yeah, you've got your cap, you can last, it's pretty strong, pretty good DPS. It's really all you care about with a ratting carrier. It can bring in some pretty good income, so I might encourage that. Alright guys, that's it. Talk to you guys later.